Hey there guys, Shaq from Shaqtech here. Welcome to a brand new video. In today's video we're going to be looking at some film photography, specifically doing a review on the Lomochrome Metropolis by Lomography. This is a film that I've been recently shooting, some experimental film, and yeah, let's take a look at it. Sweet, so we're dived in here, we're in Lightroom here, and we've got our beautifully developed film here. So all film from this Lomochrome Metropolis film can be processed using the C41 process. Pretty standard for all 35mm film, which is cool. And yeah, and the film itself is relatively inexpensive, around $12.60 at the moment on B&H. I'll leave a link down below in the description if you want to check it out yourself. And yeah, using this film, this is the Formula 2019. This is the 2019 formula, so slightly old, and it allows you to use a variety of ISOs when shooting with this film, from 100 to 400, to get different effects per se. And yeah, this is just something a little bit experimental, and wanted to see the different effects we get. I'm going to show you, I took different lighting conditions, I took different subjects, both people, I took landscapes, urban, and yeah, let's see how these photos looked and what kind of style we get out of it. So first up, let's take a look at something a little more abstract here. As you can see, I've slowed the shutter speed down a little bit. This was shot at, I believe, at 400 ISO. And these are actually flowers in my backyard, and this was during golden hour, surprisingly. But these are some blue flowers, and as you can see, the photo itself already, we got quite a thick blue haze already, like a iron blue or a steel blue that's been applied to there. Again, I want to emphasize, none of these photos have been edited at all. This is completely out of development. But I kind of like the effect it gives. It's kind of really cool. It goes really well with the blue flowers. And even the greens are more towards the bluey side, or the hues more to the blue side. If I was to edit it, maybe bring it out a little bit. But it kind of looks really cool with the blue aspect, which is really awesome. Next up, we'll take a look at, again, some urban shots that I took around here. So here's a nice, really cool shot, a couple of subjects. In the city here, we got graffiti on the walls, and we've got just this like concrete jungle feel. And again, overall, you get this blue hue over the entire picture here. It's a nice little steel blue kind of look. Tungsten blue, I believe, is the word for it. And yeah, as you can see, even the yellows, again, everything's kind of a little bit towards the blue side. Photo's a bit desaturated. In this photo specifically, we're getting a really good set of grain. It's not too grainy, but it has a little bit of a cinematic effect to it, which is really cool. There's also a little lens flare here, which is kind of cool. A little light leak here, which is awesome. Also note, all of these photos were taken on a Nikon F4 with a 50mm lens as well. And cool. Moving on, we have, again, so this was shooting directly, again, this is nearly sunset, not yet golden hour though, just before, shooting directly at the sun, hence why you see this big haze. I wanted to see how it handles the light and what effects I'd get out of that. Again, another cityscape view. Again, you're getting a lot of grain where the light is hitting here. If we zoom in here again, you can see quite a lot of grain, but it's kind of a really cool effect here. It kind of gives a really cool retro vibe. I'm not too sure if it's a bit too overly blue on it, but it's really cool. And yeah, you can see the colors are slightly desaturated, and then the blues being added on top. Again, another shot here. We're getting some really cool detail. Once you zoom in, you're getting a lot of decent amount of grain here. But again, like you can see, like this must be, I believe it's a burial ground, but you can see the individual stones in there, which is really cool. Again, big credit to Splendid, which I'll leave a link down below, who processed these photos for me, and yeah, it seems to be a really cool quality job. But overall, it looks like it blows out and desaturates some of the colors, such as the blues if it's already existing, and then applies a blue filter or blue haze over the image, which is kind of cool. Here's one over some rolling hills. I believe I took a better one here. So this is shooting, again, this was I believe about the start of golden hour to just before golden hour. It's directly at the sun. Sun's right here somewhere. Got some awesome lens flaring going on. And yeah, I wanted to just see what it looked like with this rolling hill, get a bit of artistic shot. And I quite really like this. So there was so much golden color into this that you can see that it's starting to lose the bluish on there. They just couldn't overdo it. I like how there's these parts going through the photo and the dark contrast here. And yeah, this kind of made it look like a really cool photo. This might be a really cool photo if you wanted to go black and white, possibly. It looks kind of cool. And yeah, I quite like this. This is quite an intense golden hour shooting directly at the sun. And it kind of put the blue slightly made the blue quite subtle in this photo. And yeah, got a lot of saturation, but I like this. This is one of those really, really cool photos I like. Here's a portrait photo I took of myself. Now, surprisingly, I was surprised that I wasn't further desaturated or made blue, surprisingly. The sun is facing me though, which wouldn't surprise me. And yeah, this one I quite like. Even the background, the greens actually have this nice little yellowy haze more than a blue haze. As you can see, you can zoom in, ignore the facial expressions. We're getting a nice little grain on it. It's not too grainy, and it's a nice cinematic look, and I reckon it looks quite cool with the light hitting on it. Here's another natural shot here. You can see the blue undertones coming in, but again, this one isn't overly blue, which I quite like. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the hard blue, the tungsten steel blue on the colors, but the greens here look quite nice. Not too desaturated. We do have blown out whites here, which is just my point on, could have dialed it down on the ISO if I wanted to, but it's a quite nice shot. And even though this film is advertised for being used with urban situations or portraits only, it actually kind of looks quite nice in natural settings as well. Here's some sheep. But yeah, here's one of the, this is a blue scene as you can get. This was of the Oriental Parade if you're being in Wellington. This is the ocean and sea shot here in the harbour. The water, as you can see, stayed quite blue. We had some clouds coming in on here, and you can see it gets quite grainy as the darks come in. Contrast here, but it's held up the clouds really nice. That's a very blue shot here, but I kind of like it. It matches the theme of this. It's over the sea, and you want that blueness here. And we got this sneaked in a little seagull made it into the shot as well, which is quite cool. Here we have a building shot. This is kind of what they advertise this film as being, as in the urban, taking pictures of building and architecture. It's quite cool. It holds the lines here. This was a white building, and yeah, I like in this situation, I like that desaturated sky, desaturated trees here, and yeah, pulling out those windows and making them pop. Here we have another portrait here. Not exactly tack sharp on me, that's my bad, but it's quite nice. It has blown out the back here, desaturated a bit, maybe too much, and the subject is looking a bit desaturated as well, but it's kind of cool. It gives a really cool different look, and yeah, quite like it. Here we have another urban shot here. I was trying to focus on this camera setup here. We got the trees in the foreground. Not too sure how I feel about desaturation. There's a bit too much on the trees, I feel like, but it looks quite cool. And yeah, here's a shot of the beach. It kind of gives a look that it can make it scenes like this a little bit too bleak. So you can see the sky. This was an overcast day. We lose completely the color of the water, and it kind of blends in with the sand, and it gives a different look, to say, all in all. This is a really cool photo of a little dog that I saw walking around the road. We have the Kapiti Island in the back. We have a nice light leak that came through. And yeah, that's really cool. Again, we lose the complete color of the water. Completely desaturated sky, the sand as well, and it kind of just melts in. But it's kind of cool. It's quite cool. Yep, and another shot of the island. And yeah, and that's really just some of the photos we took with that 36mm film roll. Definitely one of my favorite. Yeah, definitely was a interesting experience here, especially comparing it to some of the other film I shot. A lot of the film that I usually shoot with, which is like the Kodak Portraits. 400s or the 100s. But yeah, this is definitely one that you could use for some experimental if you like your tungsten steel blues. I know a lot of people do like that style. This could be a film for you. It is relatively versatile. You can use it not only just in urban settings, it works in the nature shots as well. And yeah, it's not bad. It's a different look. I personally like a bit more warmer tones than the cooler tones. Personally, I guess that's just due to skin tones as well. I feel like the warmer tones look a lot better, in my personal opinion. But yeah, definitely worth a try. Check out, I'll put the links down below if you want to go check it out. And yeah, let me know if there's any other film you want me to try out and see how it goes. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got a little bit of an idea of how this film works and how it looks. But as always, I've one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.